Okay then, just now finishing up on page 12. Still got the micro nib. I've done certainly a lot of hatching. Okay, the light is coming this direction, so we don't want to go too crazy with the texture, because texture equals shadow in this crazy paradigm of pen and ink, or in this case simulated digital pen and ink. I also haven't done the speech bubble here, which is going to be, there's a special consideration. We've got to make the edges of the speech bubble conform to where the grid would be, even though we're not using panel borders. So we've got to do some imaginary panel borders. I actually have the real panel borders, but as you can see, I took them out. I don't need much more than what I've done right here. It's okay to do a little bit more. But you don't have to do much more. All right, let's get back to fountain inker. No, actually, not fountain inker. I need technical pen, and I need to be on the balloons layer. We need to make sure that where we put the balloon is where the borders would be too thick. Then it's a matter of getting in our shaders, our zips. All right, that seems to have worked. I think I can do a little bit more with the micro nib on this staff thing, but not much. There ain't much left to do. Okay, let's call that pretty much ready to go. And let's go for the rest of this. Let's start with above inky but below balloons. Our placement is just as important as anything else. We're going to call it tones 1. Where's my tones? I think I'm looking for a shader. All right, let's go for it. Pretty good. Okay. No, that wasn't so good. Let's make it bigger. When I say make it bigger, I don't mean make the dots bigger. I just want to make the surface area bigger so that, you know, as you're putting the dots in, you're kind of also setting the pressure sensitivity. Like through the pressure sensitivity, you're determining the saturation level. And if you have it as a small thing, it's like every time, let's say it's really small, if the pressure in your stylus changes from moment to moment, you could have this tremendous sort of variation in your shading. In this case, I'm looking for something not exactly uniform, but a little bit more controlled. So by making it big, it's like you're kind of assuring that most of it will be the same. Now, if I want to go over this again, which I could do, that's a different story. I can make it even darker. But it is starting out at a place where it's already pretty dark. And it's this dark. Same deal here. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. No, not this one. This one. Okay, same deal here. I'm just reducing it so I can see it. It's kind of funny. I got shout out to Zello gave me a nice compliment on my sketchbook tour. He says, appreciate you showing some of the rougher things in the sketchbook as opposed to the nicer things that you put on. She said other social media, basically Instagram. I don't have any other social media. And it's true. But I have an excuse on that as well. I always come with an excuse, right? Um, I only post the finished comic pages on Instagram for the most part, except for during Inktober. You'll see a lot of trashy artwork from me in Inktober. It's just an inevitability because I post on Inktober like every day. Inktober is one of the greatest things that has happened to me as far as um, art because it was at that moment. Wait. Okay. Yes, I'm on the right. I thought I had a panic moment where I thought I'd put some stuff into the ink layer, which I did not mean to do. All right, let's bring it back to its full glory here. When I first did Inktober in 2019, I think it was 2019. I'd never done it before, and it's you draw a little thing in ink every day, and for whatever reason, I felt the need to prove it. So I thought, okay, because a lot of people that I hung out with were like, that's not. It says Jones. It's supposed to be Tones. Felt like, oh, this is it's like a stunt or something, when you're doing your drawing every day. And I'm like, I have a little tiny, like, I'll show you the size of these are my Inktober sketchbooks are this size. They're little tiny things. It's like those little pocket journals. And I'm like, no. But so there was this sort of thinking that you would have to prove, you know, that you were doing it every day, some kind of accountability, which I think is a good thing, really, ultimately. And so that's all I used if you go back to the very beginnings of my Instagram, it's like one of the first things in there. It's like I had one for I think almost like 2 years. I didn't really use it. And then I got into Inktober. And then I just kind of left Instagram after that. Like I didn't use it again. And then I did it again. So there is a lot of kind of like my trashier stuff in my Instagram there. So I'm not afraid of that. I'm okay with that. Which I'm not, of course, that's not what she was implying or anything like that. But it brought up a really good point, and I mentioned this video, and I had to look it up. Oh, see, I did put it on the wrong layer just now. Well, I'm okay with all that. But it's supposed to be this one. There's a video. It's by Yasmina Creates. You should check out Yasmina Creates. Okay, this is going to be, and it's, I think it's about, I think it's about like, well, I'm not, I actually rewatched it this morning, and I think it's either don't be afraid to create ugly art or creating ugly art, something like that. But it is about kind of showing your mistakes and all that stuff, and what you can learn from it. And I've always liked that video a lot. I first saw her in a Skillshare video, I think like a Skillshare course for creating these little like kind of cute animals with watercolor and ink. So anyway, I've always been influenced by that particular video. The idea that it's okay, it's totally okay to make less than perfect art. And in fact, at my level, and I'm going to just say collectively at our level, like I'm not like a top tier YouTuber, and if you're watching me, you're probably not a top tier like arts YouTuber or anything like that. Everybody has some room to improve, man. Um, no big deal. No big deal. I'm an amateur. Okay, now how does I get to? Oh, let me see. Put this right here. Am I in the right? I think I'm on the right one. I'm on the right layer. So anyway, let me see. I think, and what I mentioned that the journey is more important than the destination. I've always been focused on improvement. Um, I'm kind of a DIY guy, so you know it's kind of the where the process matters. The fact that you're doing it matters. All those things are important. There we go. And we're probably going to figure out how to get a drop shadow behind him. But I got to do it on another layer. Yet another layer. I mean, I can start reusing layers and it's fine. But you got to, like, if it's on the same panel, you've got to get away from it. Same deal here. So this one we can be on the same layer. There is some zips. Also pretty flattering to say that the stuff I have on Instagram isn't, better looking, because some of it's pretty rough. I was looking at it the other day and thinking, oh, I could really do a better job. All right, that actually came out pretty good. I kind of like all of this stuff. We could even put like a shadow there. That looks pretty good. How about that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. I'm gonna go too wild with this shading, but if it still looks good, I'm gonna use it. Anyways, definitely check out that Yasmina Creates video. I think it's worth it. Okay, I somehow got to figure out if I'm going to do the light here. I definitely can get something back behind him. But it's not as dramatic as when he was in the room. So let's think about this. Okie dokie karaoke. Yeah, I like all that. I like all that. Got a little bit off register, but still came out cool. Okay. I could just leave this as is, too. It's pretty subtle, but I mean, it's not bad. All right, same deal down here. Same dealio. All right. This is a mostly uniform tone. My mind is already on my next comic for the most part. Now it's going to do some, let's do some darkness on this side. Yeah, let's come on a little bit darker. It's just a pressure sensitivity. As you put more pressure in, the dots widen out, and there's less space in between the dots to make kind of the illusion of a darker shade. This is the same deal here, except on this one, we're going the other direction. We want I could do the whole shield, or I could just do half of it like that. This tone right here that I'm using is so it's doing double duty. This one is just masquerading as a color. So I only work in black and white for the most part, at least on the comics. There we go. And then we can cut out some highlights. There it is. That's fine right there. How about that? And then finally you got this guy. Same deal. We're pretending that this is a color. Perseus is supposed to be wearing green. He's wearing gray. And there's the shade. And the reason I'm using the pressure sensitive shader as opposed to just the zip tone is because the dots are smaller. But over here, when we get to like this, there's these three areas. There's like a little energy glow. We need to create some contrast, but we can't use the shader. I don't think it's a very good indicator. So we're going to use these toners, which is the ref dot. And I can't use this. Yeah, I can. I can use this one. So these do not have the pressure sensitive thing going on. So So they're harder to take out of register. So that the dots don't line up. But they create a flatter experience. Like it's the effect is flat. It's like a flat color. Now, like when let's see, what's it called? There we go. With the effect of the clothing and such, we could have used the regular Beat Tones Classics, but the issue here is I want to be able to have it curve around. Can you tell if the dots are smaller or like there's like a huge amount of spacing going on there? And in fact, this is kind of on the 10% settings. I like when I get in really close, you can kind of see how irregular and noisy these dots are. That's what gives it its natural looking appearance. It gives it this feel of being, kind of printed in some kind of vintage facility. All right, here we go. Let's try this now. All right, let's see. Ta-da. Let's see. How about right here? It's a bit subtle because he looks down at his hand. It's fizzing. Fizzed. He knows he's going soon. Let me take a look here. Yeah, we're okay. Okay, now we can kind of do the same thing, except we're going to go to 10 and 30. So we're going to do 10 for the whole back wall and the ceiling, and then we're going to do 30 for the ceiling. We got to be careful not to crash into the other panel because could take it off register. Okay. So this is why they're on different. Oh, I thought had them on different layers. So in case they ran over each other, which they did a little bit, but that's okay. I don't think it. That I would have a much easier time just trying to clean it up. But I think I got it good. Okay, how about right? Nope. Screwed up again. It's just this interior little energy fizzle is where the perimeter is. One effect you can do is like you see where I've just whited out the middle here inside this splat kind of area. That's in itself a technique. I'm not using it because I'm erasing all of the tones inside this area. But you can make a pretty convincing little energy flash or explosion by using tones plus selective whiting. All right, I think that's good. Let's try this one area over here. I don't know if you can hear the knocking. They're working on fixing the deck here. This is my girlfriend's place. All right, let's see. Oh crap! Come back. All right, we're at 25 minutes. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this on video, but I don't want to do a fourth video, so I might just like do what I can, stop it at 30 minutes, and then I'll just keep going. I can draw for hours, y'all. Just go for hours and hours. All right, so now I've erased an area that I did not mean to erase. Okay. Looking pretty good. Now, how do I take this and make it even darker? You go to the 30%. 30% is up on the ceiling. Now I'll be fine as long as I don't lift my stylus. I lifted it. There it is. But you can lift your stylus to get to the new area. But I think that's screwed up too. I did this wrong. You have to stop at the ceiling layer. That's what I was trying to do. So you gotta think about it. And you can see what it's doing is it lays directly on top of the other stuff, but the dots are larger. So here's the small dots, large dots. And when you zoom out, and this is about actual size, you can see it's a slightly darker tone. All right, all that's looking good. Keep going, keep going. All right, I will. Let's get back to 10%. Make it a little bit large. There's like a bunch of these sort of tricks. I don't know if I did like that. I need to put this on its own layer. Let's put it right here. There's all these tricks that you can do, like taking the rotation of the dot sheet and turning it by 30%, or a different angle or something like that. All of these little tricks. Oh, shoot. And they all do something kind of interesting to me. But what they really do is they just establish some depth. They give us the illusion of depth a little bit better. The illusion of color when there's no color. Which helps with things like immersion. The illusion of shadow. That's looking pretty good. I like that. All right. We also have the freedom to leave this last panel completely open, which is kind of cool. Oh, this is an area right here that's got a problem. I believe it's over here. Does it look okay? I think it does. All right. Same trick. Back to this layer. Except this time we're going to do a drop shadow with him against the the wall here. Through the drop shadow. This time we're going to use, there we go. How about that? That wasn't too bad. I still got it with, I mean, it wasn't exactly 30 minutes, but I could even use some of this as a drop shadow against this part of the wall. Just drop it down from 30 to 10. Looks nice and clean. Everything's looking good. There we go. There's another page of comics. All right. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Tune in again tomorrow. There will be more comics. I got to start page 13, lucky page 13. 13 or 14 is probably the last page of this installment before we move to the next comic. It's an episodic story for this one. This is just the first chapter. So just a couple more pages left. Oh, I could probably put a let me put a shadow, one more shadow. There we go. See you later.